Okay, this will be my video on the new Uber kasparan race. I'm not a fan of it, as you can probably tell by this image I've created. Um, yeah, this is my kasparan account. It's an ultra right now, and what I've done is I've put trash cans there and a trash bag, as you can see right here, to show you guys that it's garbage. And just to clarify, okay, moving on. This is a trash can to show you that the update that they've added to K is not all that great and that it definitely needs some more work. So, what I'll be talking about now is what they had in Gaia versus what they have in K, which admittedly is terrible compared to other races. So let's go. Okay, gameplay. Gameplay. 25% slash resist. Now you get this, and fire resist. You get this when you get Dragon Scale, which you get at day 15. Now, Kasparan is a tanky class. It is actually one of the most tanky classes in the game, or it should be. And in order for classes like Abyss Walker or even Faceless, if they want more, I don't know, just damage or like reduced damage taken, they go slash resist. And how that works is it's a good meta. It is a good meta. You don't take as much damage from swords, from daggers, from rapiers, all that stuff, and it's good to have. Now, another thing. 1.25 times damage with fire attacks. Now this is included for Respirator, which is, by the way, they get it at day 15 with Dragon Scale. It works with Mana's Day, it works with Ignis, Snap Ignis. Those are the main fire moves. And this is pretty dang good. Not even gonna lie. If you're a illusionist or necromancer in Gaia and you have Mana's Day, why not, dude? Just go for it. Go be a Kasparan. It works. It does more damage. Why wouldn't you go Mana's Daying? And you get 4 lives. So this is important because it's basically a free PD when you start. You have the leniency to die. It is great for going Construct if you want to reroll or get Tomeless, because you get 4 lives and you just need day 1. And then the last one I talked about with Dragon Scale is Respirator, which breaks Mana Shield. Now this is the main reason most cameos, most Abyss Walkers go Kasparan. Because with this, you get a move that sets people on fire. And it's basically a substitute for Ignis, but better. Because you also get Mana Shield with it if you press F. Which upgrades with the Phalian training. So, the next thing we'll talk about in Gaia is their cosmetic upgrades. So, as you can see, Kasparans are sort of they're one of the most well-known races, in my opinion. When you think Rogue Lineage, you think, yeah. You got the Kasparans, you got the Gaians, you got the Scrooms. Those are what you think of. So with the cosmetics, you get some horns, you get the cool face, and you get the color variants, with the albino Kasparan being the rarest one. And that is cool. Having a class that has like those specified color variants, that is super cool. Because it determines, like, oh yeah, I'm a purple, I'm a red, why not? And, okay. Alright, so in K, gameplay, you're not going to see a lot of difference here. Because there's literally not much of a difference at all. So we got slash resist, we got fire resist. But believe it or not, they get cold resist. Which I believe they should have had in Gaia. Because where are the only NPC dragons found? Oh yeah, they're found in Tundra. Well, that actually makes sense, doesn't it? That they'd have cold resist, maybe. Maybe they learned that from them. But so yeah, that's fine. Cold resist is cool. They still get the 1.25 times damage with fire attacks. Now, instead of the 4 lives to start, they begin to start wiping at 40%, whereas most classes start at 30, which is stupid. I mean, yeah, it makes sense, 4 to 40. But like, who cares? Honestly, if you're at 30% or 40%, you're probably gonna die anyways, because that means you just suck at the game. You can't kill NPCs. Um, it's a it's not a handicap, it's a crutch. It's something you fall onto to make sure that you can stay alive, and it's not benefiting you within gameplay. And yet again, we have Respirator, which I will talk about later because they could have done more. They could have done so much more. And their cosmetic, admittedly, looks okay, maybe. They got bigger horns. They get the stupid thing under their eye, which I actually don't like. To be honest, I don't like it. I think it should be removed. I think it ruins the typical kasparan vibe, you know? And it's like, yeah, this is like very cool. It's very like stern. It's funny even. And then you just put some stuff on their face and call it a day. Nah, that's lazy. Okay, Ascended. I'm gonna talk about the title of Ascended and why it is dumb. Um, yeah, it's dumb. So it's lazy. It's not thought out at all. It's an excuse to not make a different race. And to be honest, I'm okay with having the same race in K because I'm pretty dang sure that Scrooms are gonna have the same race, but they're just gonna be really overpowered eventually. But you just put stuff on their face. It's not interesting. It's lazy. You don't add much. You call it Ascended and it's done. It's not interesting at all. And alright, we're gonna move on. Alright, so I'm gonna talk about compared to other races that have gotten like K races, why it's not good. So with Hazelden, this boy right here, he gets a move called Rage. And it's a second life basically. It's a awakening. And it makes you stronger. And when you get knocked down, you can use it and you get back up and you just start hitting harder. And this thing is overpowered. It does. I'm not even sure if it has a different look in K. I'm sure it doesn't because they're still kind of unfinished. And I'm sure Casperin too is gonna get updated soon. But yeah, this guy right here, his skill is useful in combat and it follows directly with what it does in Gaia. Meaning like when it gets low, it hits harder. Next is Madrasian, which had a huge glow up, which they're now the Mascoiti or whatever. And these boys, they copy armor stats, which I think should have been a progression in K or Gaia actually, but you know, it actually made them so much better. So now you'll see like Onis fighting Big Hoss wearing like Ultra Sigil armor, and you'll be like, holy moly, that's a lot of HP. Or you'll see Uber Illusionists wearing faceless armor, and they'll have great speed, great climb boost or whatever. And it's cool. It's interesting. It follows what they do in Gaia, and it actually boosts them like 100%. They also get to choose between a mode that makes them faster or makes them tankier, which I'm not sure it makes a huge difference actually. Because I'm pretty sure an admin was like, oh yeah, it doesn't really do that much. But it's okay. It follows like directly. Next, the most dumb, the most unexplainable thing is the reason that Dinakaris get Regalia. So, Dinakaris are the tankiest races in the game. For whatever reason. Because they're supposed to deal with mana. They're supposed to deal with runes, popping runes. So, it baffles me that these guys get the tankiest armor in the game. It's a passive too. It's stupid. They're Godstruck when they're in K. That's what their new race in K is called. They get purple hair. And they get a passive, not a passive, but an ability called Regalia that gives them great armor. Now, tanky races don't really exist besides Gaian. And you will see that Gaian still doesn't have its race, and it needs a buff in Gaia, I think. It needs a third armor set. It needs to choose between whether it's tanky or fast, because it's a machine. And if any race should get tanky armor that makes it the best in the game, it should not be this mana class or this chaotic class that has soul rip. But yeah, it gets a useful ability to K. Now this is a picture of my friend Neon. He's a pretty cool guy. He wants to go to K, but he'll know he'll die. Because Gaian doesn't get anything, by the way. But it deserves Regalia. Alright, so Respirator. And this is going off of what we talked about with what they get in Gaia versus K. Respirator is no longer viable in K. And the anti-Tomeless classes are now obsolete. So the main reasons you'd go kasparan is because Respirator. It's pretty good. And if you're a cameo, you don't have access to magic. So you'd go Respirator, you'd have fire magic, and you'd have a mana shield without having to be Tomeless. Same thing with Abyss Walker, because they can't go Tomeless either. But when you go to K, every single race is Tomeless immediately. So here are my ideas to what they could add instead. Now, most of you guys will know this is Naruto. This is a move from Sasuke and Obito. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't watched it in a bit. But it's Susanoo Guard. And this would be cool if when you used Respirator, or Respirator just gets completely erased. Just like Shift gets erased with Mascuoti, you get Respirator is gone, and instead you get Susanoo Guard, or some variation of it, where you just get this like figure around you made of fire, or like a dragon-esque figure, and it breathes fire. It does whatever. It's defensive. It's whatever. And that would be sick. Just saying. And it would parallel directly with what color kasparan you are. So if you're a white, you'll get a white flame body around you, or a Susanoo. So next, I think the horns could be directly variated with what like when you use fire attacks, they just turn on fire. Or like when your eyes, or when you use a fire attack, your eyes just start burning. That'd be sick. It'd be a sick cosmetic, and it'd be much better than this ascended garbage that they're pulling. And then another one, Respirator could be replaced with is the fire, like on parallel with the fireball jutsu, or like a wall of fire that is kind of similar to this. And that'd be pretty interesting, not gonna lie. But as it is right now, I'm actually really upset because I'm an Uber Abyss Walker. I'm a kasparan. I'm an albino kasparan, and I was excited. I was waiting because I knew they were gonna get something cool. Kasparans are like, oh yeah, dude, they're a dragon. There are so many easy ideas that you could do, and then the developers they put a mark on its face. They give it bigger horns, cold resist, and they call it a day. That's not a race. That's like armor. That's stupid. Alright. So that's me ranting. Bye.